Sawadee-ka and good afternoon, everyone. This is Abel here once again, and I am the host of the You Are Able series, where I invite people who I feel have some able aspects about them, which I think everybody has. But today I wanted to introduce my new guest, Sujata Tiwari. Did I say it right?
That's right.
Thank you so much for being my guest today. How are you doing today?
I'm very honored and humbled to be talking to you.
Oh, thank you.
The little that I know of you, I know that you have an exceptional story of yourself. So you are the person who you are. You have to be discerning to find other gems, which I think you do.
Wow. Well, you make me feel the same as well, because let me introduce you to the audience and what I feel about Sujata, even though we only spoke one time over Zoom and we never met in person. I have been meeting so many amazing people online, mainly through LinkedIn nowadays, in building connections and just getting to know people. And Sujata and I are both mentors at the previously held She Brilliance conference that is in Singapore. And Sujata, you live in Singapore, correct?
That's right.
Yes. And originally you are from India, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't like to share that.
I remember you always say I was born in the wrong country.
Well, I remembered you saying certain things about your story, about yourself and also your daughter, only if you feel comfortable sharing, because you do not have to share as much as you did last time. And I'll try to be more specific with my questions. But Sujata is a lady to me who is very brave and she's very courageous. And let me tell you, you do not step on the wrong side with her because she's going to let you hear it. And I really admire that because that's something that I feel we deserve and we should speak up. Whether you're a man or a woman, I'm not trying to be a feminist at all. I think that if something is not the truth, something that is not right, you should speak up, whether it's for yourself, for somebody that you love, or for other people. And I say this from deep inside my heart because Sujata was talking about being judged and prejudice and being labeled and put into a box. And that's something that I have been through in the past. It's no longer who I am, but it's still, something that I have been through in the past, which is being labeled as the Chinese girl, the stupid girl, the girl with the small eyes, because I was around, mainly just white people. And the children, of course, children make fun all the time. And they don't really know the hurt that they can give you while they're having fun. I understand that as an adult, but when you're a child, it impacts you in a much deeper way. And the first question that I want to ask Sujata is related to that. It's related to prejudice, being labeled, put into a box. And I really, really want to hear what Sujata says because of her experience being born in India. And she just said that she was born in the wrong country. So Sujata, tell me just a little bit, or maybe like a little story of why do you feel that you're born in the wrong country? And also, you have been through prejudice, judgment, stereotypes, whatever, all of those things, labeling. How do you deal with that? Or how do you deal with people that treat you a certain way?
So to give you a small story so that you will know that it's been there for centuries and ages in India. Yes. There was a time when widows, when they became a widow, they were supposed to burn themselves at the funeral pyre of the husband. That was many, many years ago. But if you read my book, in my book, I have shared a story which is from my grandparents' age, when one of my grandmother's sisters, she was married off at an early age to a very older man. And when that man died, she was treated so badly by her mother-in-law that she committed suicide. And my entire grandparent family, they converted themselves to another kind of a sect, which was, against such principles of violence and torture and all. They're called the Brahmo Samajis. But It is there everywhere. So if you're a widow, you should wear white and you should not party, you should not drink, you should not lead a normal life. The person is dead and gone. But does that mean that the widow should be condemned? And for young girls and children or women, right from day one, we are subjected, right? We have to deal with the colors. Baby girl means pink color, boys mean blue color. You don't get gender neutral toys, right? You get the Barbie dolls or the doctor sets or the home sets, right? And the boys get the matcha toys. So we are conditioned. So if you look at the modeling industry, like I'll tell you, you think those hourglass figures come just naturally? Do you know how much of hard work is there and heartache is there, where people go through anorexia, they go through bulimia, where even Princess Diana went through that, right? If we are to believe the stories. So you are always trying to fit into what society wants you to be. And the color is definitely there. I have been told in Thailand itself, let me tell you, I'll give you this example so you will understand. The taxi driver asked me, from where I was. And I hate saying I'm from India. So, but I can't give my, those answers to the taxi driver. So I said very hesitantly, I'm from India. And he literally stopped the car because he says, how can you be from India? You're so white. Because in India, so I explained to him, in India, we have all the color complexions from beige to brown to wheat to white to black. So we can be as black as the Africans, so to say, and we can be as white as the foreigners. So you are labeled and judged all the time. You're always told what to do, what not to do. If for all my accomplishments, even now, women will tell me, try to put yourself in three categories or three designations. You can't be all over the place. What do I say to that? You can't dress the way you want to.
I see. I'm not very familiar with India. I've never been to that country.
No, but like you shared your experience, like the small eyes or this thing.
Yes.
So we have in this part of the world, we will be called yellow skin, right? The Asian, this thing will be called the yellow skin. Then there is the white skin. Then there is the black skin.
Yes.
Why do we have so many this thing? In nature, we don't have that. No, we appreciate these things. When we go for a event, always black tie event. You watch any woman, if she has a doubt about what to wear at an event, she will always choose black.
Right. You're perfectly correct, because nature doesn't discriminate.
No.
The sun shines on every spot. Right, including the prisons, including the parks, and anybody. There's no discrimination with nature, but it is and I don't want to say people, I want to say the mind.
Yes,
that the mind is what chooses, if we choose incorrectly, to discriminate. But how do you deal with these people? Because it seems when we spoke last time, it seemed you deal with this a lot.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to talk about my story here. This is your story. I can, of course, add some of my experience, but like, how do you deal with people who maybe try to force you or suggest to you or nicely speak to you about what you should do? How do you deal with them?
Basically, from childhood, I think what people would call me a rebellion. But I think I learned to use my mind, which years later might be, put into that. If you know about Richard Feynman, his way of science as operating is that you observe, you reason, and you experiment. So I have never believed in what people say. My favorite thing of how to deal with this that I always tell, which I always say is my mantra, is people can't define you. They may label, but people's actions don't define who I am. If you tell me that I am so-and-so, doesn't mean that I become so-and-so. And if I start listening to people, then I will land up with multiple split personality disorder. Okay, because today somebody might look at me and say, oh, you're very spiritual. Tomorrow somebody might look at my bio and will say, reading your bio makes me feel intimidated. So am I supposed to be lesser or greater according to people's opinion? So
exactly.
I just don't bother. I mean, I hear what the people have to say, but in the end, my actions define who I am. So if you don't like it, don't like it. If you don't resonate, don't resonate. I'm happy to be alone in this world, but I'm not happy to be lesser than who I am or to be something which the world wants me to be. I'm going to be who I am, and my actions will define me, because leadership is not about designations, it's about actions. And we are all leaders.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. See, Sujata has spoken, and you can feel her presence, right, when she speaks. And for the people who are watching, I see Kun Orawan, and when you see me kind of looking over, it's because I'm looking over at the comments from people who are saying hello in the live feed. And I have had mainly females, of course, because I talk to more girls, women, than I talk to men. And if you ever doubt anything about yourself, the only suggestion that I would give you is learn to be happy with the imperfection that is inside you. Because from what I understand as a spiritual person is that, and we're all spirits, I believe, and that we're just living temporarily in the human experience, is that we're here and we're made imperfect so that we have a reason to improve, reason to learn. Because if we, for example, if we don't have suffering, we will not learn within ourselves how to deal with a situation, because everything would be just so perfect. Everything would just be like heaven. And would you be more motivated or less motivated when everything is perfect? You would be less motivated. So that's one of the reasons that I tell myself too, when I'm going through struggles. And personally, in this present moment, I do not have any insecurities, except for I wish I have a fatter bank account. But physically, I do not have any feelings of lack or imperfection. I'm very happy with myself, even though I wake up in the morning and my breath smells and then my hair is all messy. I'm not the most gorgeous person, but I don't need to be, because I'm just very happy with who I am. And for the younger women who are trying to learn about themselves or trying to, do not aspire to be like anybody else, but I always ask that you aspire to be the best version of yourself. And that's something that you have to ask within you. What is the best version of yourself? Not because, oh, I want to have white skin. I want to have darker skin. Like in the, all the white people in the US, they want to have darker skin. And they come here to Thailand or to Japan or to Hong Kong and they say, oh, I want to have a whiter skin. It really only matters within you, because just like Sujata said, things change outside of us all the time. People's words, the words that come out of people's mouths that you have no control over, what people say about me, say about you, I have no control over them, but I have only control over how I react to them. And this is the hard part. It requires the mastery of your own mind, which is a constant thing. And this is not something that I have mastered, but it is something that I'm working on as well. So that's my little advice. And sorry to steal your time there, Sujata, too much. But let me go into my second question that I have prepared for you. And that is, I can feel the energy when you speak. I can feel your strength. And I know you have gone through tough times in your life. And that's why you have that strength. Because people who speak a certain way have gone through certain things. And I really believe that. So what drove you to be who you are today and to speak up and to advocate for the truth?
So right from childhood, we were taught how to speak up for ourselves. We were taught how to think. Most people actually don't think. In our society, it's better to follow herd mentality and follow what's told to you to do right from childhood. When you go to school, the teachers will tell you, then you go to your religious institutions, they will tell you how to lead your life, right? So every time we are taught, and it's so easy not to think and just do, but we were taught how to think. And we were always told how to be human and just. When people ask me what my religion is, I always say it's being human and kind. And so if there's any kind of injustice, I will say no. Even if I'm alone, even if I have to face challenges, that's just who I am and who we are in the family. And so I just can't take any kind of, and I advise women, I advise men and children, everybody, not to take abuse of any sort. It could be just simple verbal abuse. It could be just simple things of putting you down, making you lose your self-confidence in your workplace, in your home, in your marriages, right? We just are always told to compromise, to adjust, to just give in. But why? Why will we not be who we want to be? Why should we not lead our lives to the maximum potential that we can achieve? And that's a big thing which we have still not achieved, miles and miles to go. And that is why I do it. And that's why, my journey further on, that how I stood up to what I stood up. I just can't abide any kind of wrongdoing. I just can't.
Right. If I may add, my interpretation of what you just said is because you have already went through many stages of life challenges. Now, there are people that I would say for sure have no idea what it means to be in an abusive relationship because they are not told, they do not understand, even though they are made to feel bad. They think that it's okay because they're supposed to be in that situation. And if we were talking and we were much younger than we are now in our 20s, I don't think we would be speaking up as strongly as we are now when we are in a stage where we understand life more, we have acquired wisdom through knowledge and experience, and we are able to be mentors in different aspects of life to help others who feel that they do not know the light at the end of the tunnel, for example. So for people who may be interested in learning to have more courage, I would suggest you to contact Sujata, who is based in Singapore, whether online or in person, because she definitely have some really amazing insights to share and to be a mentor, for you as well. Because obviously Sujata is a mentor in different aspects, and then I am more of a coach in communications. Now, you were saying abuse earlier. You were talking about wrong. Would you feel comfortable to share with you what you shared with me last time about what you went through fighting for the injustice that was, done towards your daughter? Are you comfortable to share that?
Yes. So I
Okay.
would be not only comfortable, I'll take you back a little bit into what you said, as to how I am and how I got shaped. So imagine a
Right.
housewife with 3 children. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
talking of many years back. And she is stalked by a mafia don. How do you react to it? Do you actually think that people go to the police? Do you actually think that they share it with family and friends? How does a housewife deal with it? I dealt with it. In those days, I dealt with it. I handled my stalker and I got him off my back without going to any counselor, therapist, police, and all that. So that shaped my, the way I think and do. Like you said, that I have that strength. So I developed it then. Fast forward to when I had to pick up, when I decided to have a career. Again, I had no degree except for a bachelor's degree. But I went into all kinds of work like sales and marketing of computers, journalism, anti-counterfeiting. So that prepared me. So when the ultimate happened, life-altering moment, which we don't choose, by the way, was the rape of my daughter. Now, I could immediately, as per society, brushed it under the carpet because you know that many people never, ever come forward. But in that extreme moment, I did not even bat an eyelid for a second. I said, I'm going to court to fight for justice. And that's what I did. It took me 7 years, 7 years, which finished last lockdown, from lower court to high court. And I used to go to court every single day when there was a hearing. I used to sit in that court from morning to night. I used to wear the same clothes for the entire week. I used to wear diapers because I would suffer from stool incontinence. But it didn't stop me. So I went every single day till I got justice. And I did get the justice. But many people, they don't come forward. And even if they come, they do not go to court because it's so harrowing. You are ostracized, you're re-victimized, you're stigmatized. The laws may be in the books, but in the actual handling of court and police, it's a very different game, whether it is India or whether it is USA or it is Africa or any place. This issue is such that you don't get the kind of justice, and it's on an increase. Rape and all, if you just see the statistics, it's on an increase all the time. So I decided that I'm not going to put it under the carpet, and I just went ahead and fought for justice. And that's why I'm there for everybody who needs my help.
How did your daughter feel about, I mean, I really cannot imagine what it's like to be raped. Okay. I really cannot. So I can only sympathize. Now, how does your daughter feel about your involvement in searching for justice for her? How does she feel about your involvement in this situation that she found herself in?
When the thing happened, she was not conscious. So when I decided, I took the decision. Now, a lot of people will tell us
You
that
mean when she was raped, she was not conscious? Is that what you meant?
when we found her, she was not conscious. But I had to wait. I couldn't wait for her to come to her senses and then ask her. And anyway, I was not good to have it if that meant, doing something against the victim's desire. Because in the long run, I didn't want her to live with guilt. Suppose I had kept quiet. Just imagine what her life would be. She would be hiding something and she would always be looking after her shoulder, thinking, what if somebody comes to know, right? So I did two things. One is that I informed the cops that this has happened. And the second thing, I did the unthinkable in society. She was in a relationship with a boy. And I went and told the boy's mother that this has happened. And people said, what have you done? She will be dumped. I said, I'd rather she be dumped now and I will pick up the pieces than be dumped later. And because I had my angels, and which I came to know during the traumatic time, and God was with me, the whole world wasn't, but God was with me, that I knew that I'd taken the right steps. So not only did I get justice, I think I have allowed her to lead a life without guilt. I mean, okay, a bad thing happened, but she has. And guess what? When I talk of the spiritual experience and what happened was that in billions and billions of the mindset of people of India, the boy's family accepted her as she is and was, and she got married to that boy. So
I
what
think
if the society abandoned us?
I don't think that I can say anything more to add to what you have shared, because the words can be simple when we say it, but the action that was taken and the time invested and the energy that has to come through from your heart's desire and your mind to push this forward, and not knowing how long it's going to take to get or not get justice.
Yes. I didn't even know whether I would get justice. I just made the decision, not on the results, but just on my principles.
Right.
See my book, it says about how I just lost the ability to cry because I had to be strong. So I would probably lock myself in a room and try to deal myself, because I couldn't cry in front of my daughters and I could not cry outside. So I was supposedly the strong mom. But
they saw you cry later, right? When you were when everything.
I only physically cried when I boarded Singapore Airlines to go to Bombay when I heard the news. But after that, I don't know. I think I cried once in the court when the judge broke me down with his very, very nasty questions about the victim. In 7 years, that time I really broke down. But even then, I didn't cry immediately. I came out of the court and probably cried. That was one time I did break down. But I was literally shivering, like my body was trembling just because of the questions of how he attacked the victim's character. So it's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted.
Yes.
It's the right thing to do, right?
Right. And we see blame everywhere, even with the smallest acts.
Yes.
So if you're talking about rape,
yes,
of course, no man, even woman rape, even women can rape men, but mostly, obviously, it's men raping women. And nobody would want to lose their face and admit when caught, oh, yes, I raped her. Yes. No way, right? So of course you're gonna say, well, the girl was dressed a certain way. Oh, she wants it, or I mean, whatever way that it is to. I'm sorry, I do not remember like the most correct, accurate words to say, but to make it the victim's fault. Right.
Victim blaming and shaming is the heart of the matter. In the court, it is actually the victim trying to prove that she was this thing. It's not a case of whether accused is being, asked to prove it. It is actually the victim who's in the dock who has to prove that she was raped or she was innocent or whatever she was. There's no justification for a crime like that, because I'll give it in simple words. What about 6-month-old babies who were raped? Were they dressed in a certain style? Were they drinking? Were they provocative? Or in India, we've had nuns being raped. What were the nuns doing that they had to be raped? What do 70-year-old people who are raped, what were they doing? What was it their fault? It's just that women are commodities to be used and misused as per will of men. I'm sorry, it might sound very strong, but that's the reality. I have also seen many kind and sensitive men. But my lawyer who fought for me in the court was a man. The police officers who helped me were all men. So I'm not saying there are not kind and enough men, and kindness is not gender specific, that women are necessarily kind. No, women can also be very unkind. So he was defended by a woman lawyer, and she literally, tore everything to bits. But you do the right thing.
Right. And, to the audience who are watching, just remember that we all have our own history, and we do get conditioned a certain way on how to look at certain things based on our past. But as we get older, we become wider in our perspectives. So we're not here to be feminists. I mean, I am not anyways. I'm not speaking for Sujata, but
neither am I.
She's saying these things because of the experience that she went through, to fight for the truth, to advocate, to get the justice that her daughter deserves. And that is to not feel guilty for being a victim. And she is no longer a victim in her mind. I hope she's not, because as long as you continue to label yourself a certain way, you will keep yourself there. And, to have Sujata here to share her story, which I cannot even imagine the fullness of the challenges and then the elations that she went through, growing and understanding the justice system. And this is in India, correct? The court?
Yes, it's in India.
Right. So, and we all know that in India, I've heard this all the time too, that rape is very, very frequent in India. And it's very sad to hear this. And I don't know the reason why. I'm sorry. I did not do this research before I spoke to you today. But it is something that it does happen. And unfortunately, it's happening to people that not right now, for example, with, in the past, Sujata's daughter. And it gets closer and closer to us, which is, for me, as somebody who is outside of the situation, verbally, I guess, abused, you can call it, or being bullied, which is nothing compared to physical abuse. And nobody should have to deal with that, even though it is somebody's reality. And my heart goes out to those people. So it's very beautiful what you shared, even though this is a very serious topic. And I love actually the deep, serious talks anyways.
Yes.
I'm not somebody who enjoys the shallow conversations, giggling about other people's lives. Like, that's just not something that I have any interest in. And these are the kind of conversations that I love the most. Now, we are already at 30 minutes, but I have finished with my questioning with Sujata, but is there anything that you would like to share with the audience? Whatever it is, a quote, a story, something about yourself that you would like to share with the audience for today?
Yes, so I have a quote which I would like to share, because I think that sums up, in life in general. Just give me a moment.
No worries. Take your time.
So this is a quote which I like to say, because it's not only about rape, it's about injustice and all, whether it's a domestic violence abuse that you go on, or it's a marital rape, or it's just that, you get bullied enough to stop being yourself, right? That's also an injustice of sorts. So this is the quote I would like to say. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. When you know something is wrong, but you don't speak up, you become part of the problem.
Right.
And the other quote, which I also like to say, which is my personal thing, is, when you don't hear my silence, you won't understand my words.
That's so beautiful. Wow. I think I need some time to absorb that. My motto for my business, Find Your Voice Asia, is be heard, be able.
Yes.
And that is because there are times in my life, in my past, where I feel like I cannot speak up because of people who loves me, who they think they are actually doing the right things for me. But even as parents, and I'm a parent right now, we have limited knowledge and we have limited things that we can pass on to our children. And so I understand now as an adult, reflecting back on how my parents raised me, they did the best that they knew how, right? So to blame our parents for who we are, it's a total waste of your energy. To complain about something in the past without making an action to change yourself in the present moment is also a waste of your energy. And also, just like Sujata said, if you see injustice, if you do not speak up your truth, and when I say speak up, I don't mean yelling at people without consideration. You can speak up and be
Quietly and
firm.
firmly, yes.
Yes.
It's like in a boardroom.
Exactly.
In a corporate environment, we see it all the time. Somebody
Right.
is picked on unfairly. Why do
Right.
the other people keep silent?
Right.
Just to save your job or to be in the good books of your boss, you won't have the courage to tell the boss that I don't think that that is fair. Just to say I don't think that is fair requires so much of courage, and
Yes.
it's so much on conditioning that we don't take this, and that's how it all keeps multiplying, because that person in the face of the crowd will know what is being abandoned, will know what is being alone, and will also think, am I doing the right thing? Maybe I should go with the rest of them and just give in. Let my principles be. And that
Right.
is where everything starts. It starts from home. It starts from what actions you take, right? If you don't listen to your conscience, then
Yes.
you can say whatever words you want.
Yes. Your conscience is your compass.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you do not realize that if you can find that courage within to speak up, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else,
Somebody else, yes.
the other side of that, when you have gained the courage and you do not allow the fear to control you, is freedom. The
Yes.
freedom can be gradual, it could be immediate, but freedom in different aspects. It could be physical freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom. And that's why I always encourage people to speak up.
Exactly.
Even though I feel like I'm just like you, I am considered an outsider.
Yeah.
And I have become so comfortable
Yes.
being who I am now that
Yes.
I don't even mind not having a group of friends. I have one best friend, and then I have a lot of acquaintances. Like you are also my friend,
Yes.
even though we never met.
So, Rebel, you must remember it's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Exactly, exactly. That
You'd
is what I feel as well.
rather have one best
Yes.
friend
Yes,
instead of 100 acquaintances.
exactly, exactly. So to be comfortable in your own space and to know your truth does require time, knowledge, and having the courage to go through experiences so that you can learn from the experiences.
Yes.
Just like Sujata said, some experiences you choose, some experiences you do not choose, and that is how life
You
teaches us.
always have a choice to respond to what is thrown at you. That choice
Right.
nobody can take away from you.
Right, exactly. There's so much wisdom. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I love this. I really do. You can see it in my face how excited I am, and I don't want this to end, but I want to make sure that people stay interested in our conversation by not having too long of a podcast. Um, if you would like to contact Sujata, I will have all of her contacts in my YouTube channel under the You Are Able playlist. And you can contact her. You can look for her book. What is the name of your book, Sujata?
It is against all odds.
Oh, wow.
No
Beautiful.
mistakes, no manuals, real life lessons, and the book and every part of wherever I communicate has my mobile number. I believe if you are not accessible, then it's of no consequence, because we can talk on podiums and forums, but if you're not accessible to the people who want to reach out to somebody, you're not there for those people, then what's the use?
Right.
You know?
Right. Beautiful. It's it's never ending. Learning is never ending. And this
Learning.
is a learning experience for myself as well, and to all the audience who are watching. And I thank you to the audience who are watching, and please share this with anybody who really need this message. And thank you so much. I'm going to stop the live now. ขอบคุณมากๆนะคะทุกท่านที่มาร่วมกันนะคะ and I'm going to stop the live now, and I'm going to keep Sujata on with myself. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you again in my next You Are Able series next Wednesday at the same time. ขอบคุณค่ะ